there's something really, really important that you need to know. It's a freaking rule of advertising. And that's you do not test and scale at the same time. So which do you do and when? Right? Can you answer that right away on the top of your head? It's difficult to figure out, but there's an actual mathematical solution and I'll show it to you. To continue our discussion from the last video, if you just take a look at that, it becomes very obvious. If you have done it successfully, when is the period to test and optimize? It's when you face resistance, when you face situations like this one over here. You increased your budget and your profit fell. Your campaign became inefficient. At that point, you start testing new ideas. You start trying new ads. You start trying new, applying the learning that you got through analysis. You start conducting customer interviews. You start doing everything else, but not scaling. Because if you do your testing and you start scaling at the same time, there's two enormous problems with that. And that's why we never do it. If you test and scale at the same time, you will face challenges figuring out what is it that brought the results. If your cost per result or CPA dropped, why is it? Is it because you launched new ads and they're now getting the increase in performance? Is it because you scaled your budget and you're just getting better performance from your old ads? Did you change your audience? Maybe if you change your audience and kind of relax the targeting rules and you now have a wider audience, maybe it's because you entered into the learning phase with some of your ads and did the changes that your new ads are now performing better. It becomes a real mess. So that's why we never do both at the same time. And you can see here in this example of successful scaling that once you face the resistance and your profit becomes lower and your efficiency drops by taking a look at the return on ad spend and CPAs, it's then when you think about increasing the efficiency to increase the profit, and that's the time to do the testing. And once you have done that successfully, you will have higher profits, and now with the increased efficiency, you can scale. And when you scale, you don't test new stuff, you just want to scale the stuff that's already working, right? You don't scale stuff that doesn't work. You only scale successful campaigns. And that's the solution on that problem, because I know that a lot of people are doing both at the same time. They're just, oh, this campaign is doing fine, and they're increasing the budget, and then they start adding ads and changing audiences and doing all that kind of crazy stuff all over the place. And then if you do that a few times in a row, you can't go back. There's no going back. You don't know what you did. It's now over and bleh. There's no fixing the campaign anymore. And you start going back, looking at data from the good old days and when the campaigns were working, but there's nothing to do really, because you change too many variables at a time. And so that's why you need to do your testing and scaling separately. And when you're testing, you want to be doing that using the scientific method, doing it scientifically, changing a few variables at a time, best if one, and take your time. Because when you take the time and you change one thing at a time, you learn. And that learning, in the best case scenario, should be recorded so that you can go back to it and kind of retrace your steps to what you did to improve performance. And as you learn, you're going to figure out the best way to do stuff. And then using this now improved efficiency with the acquired knowledge that you have, you can further scale. But doing both at the same time is a no. Right. So that's pretty much it on scaling versus testing. Just don't do both at the same time, and start testing when you face profit resistance, or this scenario over here. You scale the budget, but the profit decreases. And I'll see you guys in the next video.